In a world where important issues can easily go missing in the noise, we're bringing them back into focus. From politics and public accountability to crime, transportation, and transparency, these are the stories that mattered this week. Hi, I'm Mia Magdalena Fokno, and this is MIA Matters in Action. Let's begin our MIA Top 5 Countdown with the stories that demanded action and captured national attention. Fifth story. More than 462 million worth of illegal drugs seized and over 2.4 million marijuana plants destroyed in just 1 month. That staggering figure leads off our countdown as authorities in the Cordillera report one of their biggest anti-drug accomplishments this year. As authorities continue the nationwide crackdown on illegal drugs, one region is reporting a significant breakthrough. For our fifth story, law enforcement officials in the Cordillera are celebrating a major victory after taking hundreds of millions of pesos worth of illegal drugs off the streets. The Police Regional Office Cordillera reported a major anti-drug accomplishment in May after seizing and destroying more than 462 million worth of illegal drugs across the region. Authorities conducted 99 operations including marijuana eradication drives, buy-bust operations, and the implementation of warrants. More than 2.4 million marijuana plants and seedlings were uprooted. Kalinga accounted for the majority of the operations and nearly 88% of the total value of illegal drugs seized. Now, while authorities are celebrating this accomplishment, the numbers also reveal something else. The fact that millions of marijuana plants were still discovered tells us just how massive and persistent the problem remains in some parts of the region. The operations were carried out during the tenure of former Procar Deputy Regional Director for Operations Ledon Monte, who has since been reassigned as Commandant of Cadets of the Philippine National Police Academy. The month-long operations also resulted in the arrest of 38 suspects, including 13 classified as high-value individuals or HVIs. Procar says it will continue enforcement efforts while strengthening community-based anti-drug education programs. Fourth story. A tragedy on one of Northern Luzon's busiest highways is now placing a major bus operator under scrutiny. The LTFRB has suspended 26 Victory Liner buses and launched administrative proceedings following the fatal crash in Tuba, Benguet. The accident claimed 1 life and left more than 90 passengers and motorists injured. Initial investigations indicate the bus may have suffered a mechanical defect before colliding with another bus and SUV along Marcos Highway. Authorities are now investigating whether the operator's franchise should face suspension or revocation. Victory Liner says it is cooperating fully while conducting its own internal investigation. From accountability on the road, we move to accountability in government. Our third story focuses on a rare move by lawmakers against one of their own. Third story. The House of Representatives has voted to expel Cavite 4th District Representative Kiko Barzaga. Lawmakers approved the recommendation of the House Committee on Ethics, which found Barzaga guilty of repeated disorderly behavior and conduct unbecoming of a member of the House. The committee argued that previous penalties, including 2 separate 60-day suspensions, failed to correct the behavior. The expulsion marks one of the rare instances in recent years that a sitting member of Congress has been removed from office through disciplinary action. Now, from discipline inside Congress to a measure that could open more government records to public scrutiny. At number 2, a bill that transparency advocates have pushed for over decades moves one step closer to becoming a law. The House of Representatives has approved the Freedom of Information Bill on third and final reading. The measure seeks to institutionalize public access to government records, documents, and transactions, reinforcing the constitutional right to information. Supporters say the bill will strengthen transparency and accountability by making it easier for citizens to obtain public information. The proposed legislation now moves to the Senate for further deliberation. And now we've reached the top of our countdown. While the House pushes forward with legislation, political tensions continue to simmer across the halls of the Senate. Our top story this week: the ongoing Senate deadlock and growing calls for Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano to step down. Political tensions continue to escalate after members of the majority bloc again failed to attend Senate sessions following last week's dispute over proposed remote participation and voting rules. The continuing absence has stalled Senate proceedings and intensified criticism from the minority bloc. Minority senators have called for the resignation of Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, accusing him of abandoning his responsibilities and violating Senate rules. With crucial legislative matters still pending, attention now turns to whether both sides can break the deadlock and restore normal Senate operations. And for today's session, when many expected the majority bloc to once again boycott the proceedings, Senator Cheese Escudero arrived at the session hall, allowing the Senate to constitute a quorum based on its current 22-member composition and proceed with business. The session quickly led to a major reorganization within the chamber. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian was elected Senate President pro tempore, replacing Senator Lauren Legarda, while several committee chairmanships were reshuffled, including the Blue Ribbon Committee, where Senator Erwin Tulfo took over from Senator Pia Cayetano. Despite the changes, Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano remains in office. Cayetano has maintained that unless the minority bloc can muster the 13 votes needed to remove him, he will continue to serve as Senate President. And those are the matters in action this week. From the fight against illegal drugs to transportation safety, government transparency, congressional accountability, and the growing political tensions in the Senate, these are the stories shaping conversations across the country. I'm Mia Magdalena Fokno, because when issues go missing, we put them back into action. This has been MIA Matters in Action.